Live television operates without a safety net. No second takes, no editing, no chance to undo what just happened. When something goes wrong during a live broadcast, millions of viewers witness it in real time. Most mistakes are harmless flubbed lines, technical glitches, wardrobe malfunctions. But occasionally, live TV captures moments so disturbing that they change broadcasting regulations forever. 4 moments that were never supposed to happen on live television. Events so shocking that even the people broadcasting them didn't realize what they were showing until it was too late. In one case, hundreds of thousands watched tragedy unfold, while anchors scrambled to cut the feed. These aren't Hollywood disasters. These are real broadcasts that expose the dangers of live television. After watching this, you'll understand why modern broadcasts now use mandatory time delays. Story number 1, the WDBJ shooting. August 26, 2015, Monetta, Virginia, early morning. WDBJ TV, a local CBS affiliate, was broadcasting a routine feel-good segment about tourism near Smith Mountain Lake. Reporter Allison Parker, 24, and cameraman Adam Ward, 27, were doing what they'd done hundreds of times before. A light interview, scenic location, nothing unusual, nothing tense. Vicki Gardner, the interview subject, smiled and answered questions about local attractions. The atmosphere was relaxed, casual, exactly the kind of harmless morning television millions watch over breakfast. At 6:45 a.m., viewers tuning in saw Allison mid-sentence, discussing tourism opportunities. Then suddenly, a sharp crack echoed through the audio. At first, it didn't register as danger. The anchor back in the studio, Kimberly McBroom, paused mid-transition, unsure what the sound was. Some viewers thought it was a car backfiring, others assumed technical difficulties. Allison turned slightly, her expression changing from professional focus to confusion. The camera shook violently. Another sound, louder, unmistakable this time. Gunshots. The feed showed chaotic movement, the camera jerking, swinging wildly, pointing at the ground, at the sky, capturing flashes of motion and nothing coherent. Then the broadcast abruptly cut away to a shocked anchor struggling to comprehend what just happened on air. Okay, not sure what happened there. We will of course let you know as soon as we find out what those sounds were. Behind the scenes at WDBJ, panic erupted. Producers frantically tried to contact Allison and Adam. No response. Emergency services were already en route. Multiple 911 calls flooded in from witnesses at Smith Mountain Lake. Within minutes, the horrifying truth became clear. Allison Parker and Adam Ward had been shot during the live broadcast. Both were killed. The attacker, Vester Lee Flanagan II, a former WDBJ reporter who had been fired from the station 2 years earlier. He'd harbored intense resentment toward the station and specific colleagues, including Allison, whom he'd never worked with but targeted nonetheless. Flanagan had approached the crew during their live segment, stood just feet away, raised a handgun, and opened fire. But the horror didn't end there. While fleeing the scene, Flanagan uploaded his own footage of the attack to social media video he'd recorded from his phone showing himself approaching, raising the weapon, and firing. He posted it to Facebook and Twitter with a manifesto claiming grievances about racism and workplace discrimination. The footage spread virally within minutes before platforms could remove it. Flanagan led police on a chase for hours before shooting himself. He died later at the hospital. The incident became one of the most horrifying examples of violence ever captured during a live news segment. Editor Michael Episcopo was reviewing the station's footage when he realized the full scope of what had been broadcast. In an emotional interview later, he described seeing the attack unfold frame by frame. "I saw a figure, I saw sparks, and I saw this coward shoot at him point blank." He had to review the footage repeatedly as part of the investigation, watching his colleagues murdered over and over. "I knew Adam was gone because I saw it, and I had to look at it over and over again because it was my job." WDBJ made an immediate decision. The original footage would never be aired again. It was pulled from all broadcasts and later removed from most online platforms. Today, only animations and reconstructions exist showing what happened without the actual violent footage. The station worked with law enforcement and social media companies to prevent Flanagan's self-recorded video from spreading further. For journalists everywhere, the shooting permanently changed how live broadcasts are conducted. Many stations now use time delays even for seemingly harmless segments. Security protocols were implemented requiring reporters to work in pairs with security nearby during outdoor broadcasts. Threat assessment training became standard for newsroom staff. But perhaps the most lasting impact was psychological. For viewers who watched that morning, the incident shattered the illusion that live TV is safe or controlled. For journalists, it demonstrated that doing their job simply reporting news could make them targets. The families of Allison Parker and Adam Ward became advocates for gun violence prevention. Allison's father, Andy Parker, has spent years pushing for stricter regulations and working to keep violent footage off social media platforms. The WDBJ shooting remains a turning point in broadcast journalism, a moment when live television's vulnerability was exposed in the most tragic way possible. Next, a high-speed police chase ended with a man stepping out of his vehicle holding a gun. The network kept filming as tragedy unfolded, and the anchor's desperate pleas to cut away came seconds too late. Story number 2, the Fox News police chase suicide. September 28, 2012, Tonopah, Arizona, mid-afternoon. Fox News was providing routine live helicopter coverage of a high-speed police chase, the kind of dramatic footage cable news networks frequently broadcast to fill airtime. The suspect, Jordan Romero, a 33-year-old convicted felon, who had allegedly carjacked someone at gunpoint earlier that day in Phoenix. For viewers, this type of coverage was familiar, tense, dramatic, but expected to end predictably. An arrest, a standoff, maybe a surrender. The chase had been going on for nearly an hour, with Romero's vehicle weaving through desert highways at dangerous speeds. Anchor Shepard Smith provided commentary, narrating the pursuit as helicopter cameras followed from above. You're watching a police chase in Arizona. The suspect is wanted for carjacking. Standard procedure, nothing unusual about the broadcast itself. Then suddenly Romero's vehicle slowed and pulled off the road in a remote desert area near Tonopah. The tone of the broadcast shifted immediately. He stepped out of the car holding a handgun. Smith's commentary turned uncertain. The suspect has exited the vehicle, appears to be armed. Police cruisers maintained distance, creating a perimeter but not approaching. Romero wandered away from his car, moving erratically through the desert scrub, weapon visible in his hand. On air, Smith speculated nervously about what might happen next. We don't know his intentions here. At first, it seemed like a standoff was developing. Negotiators would be called. The situation would resolve through tactical patience. But seconds passed, and something felt wrong. Romero appeared disoriented, pacing aimlessly rather than taking defensive positions or making demands. He wasn't pointing the weapon at officers, wasn't barricading himself, just walking in circles. The helicopter continued filming. The network continued broadcasting live. No delay, no cut, no warning to viewers about what might happen. In the studio, Smith suddenly realized where this was heading. His voice became urgent. "Get off it! Get off it!" He was shouting at producers to cut the feed, to switch to anything else. But live television doesn't respond instantly. There's always lag between recognizing danger and executing a switch. The commands came seconds too late. On screen, Romero raised the gun to his own head. "Get off it! Get off it! Get off it!" The broadcast captured his death before anyone could intervene. Hundreds of thousands of viewers, including children home from school that Friday afternoon, witnessed a man take his own life on live television. When the broadcast finally returned to the studio, Smith appeared visibly shaken. He immediately apologized, his voice cracking with emotion. "We really messed up, and we're all very sorry. That didn't belong on TV. We took every precaution we knew how to take to keep that from being on TV, and I personally apologize to you that happened." His apology continued. "It's not time appropriate, it's insensitive, it's just wrong, and that was wrong, and that won't happen again on my watch, and I'm sorry." The backlash was immediate and fierce. Media critics condemned Fox News for not implementing a broadcast delay during police chase coverage. Mental health advocates argued that showing suicide on television could inspire copycat behavior and traumatize vulnerable viewers. Romero's widow filed a lawsuit claiming her children discovered the footage online and realized they'd watched their father's death. The case was ultimately dismissed, with courts ruling the broadcast involved a matter of legitimate public concern. But the legal victory didn't erase the damage. Internally, Fox News implemented new protocols requiring mandatory delays for all live chase coverage. Other networks followed suit, recognizing that the potential for tragedy required safeguards even during routine broadcasts. The incident sparked broader discussions about media ethics. Should networks broadcast police chases at all, given the potential for violence? What responsibility do broadcasters have to protect viewers from traumatic content? How much delay is necessary to prevent tragedy from airing live? These questions remain debated today. But the September 2012 broadcast became a case study in how live television's immediacy, its greatest strength, can become its most dangerous liability. Shepard Smith's on-air apology became one of the most memorable moments of his career, demonstrating genuine remorse for what viewers had witnessed. Yet it also highlighted a fundamental truth about live broadcasting. Sometimes realizing you should stop filming comes just seconds after it's already too late. Coming up, A routine traffic stop captured something impossible. When the officer turned back to the vehicle, the driver had vanished from a locked car with the engine still running. Story number 3, the vanishing driver hoax. June 6th, 2024. Location undisclosed. A video spread across social media showing what appeared to be genuine police body cam footage of an impossible event. The clip showed a female officer conducting a routine traffic stop on a woman named Sarah. Standard procedure: approach the vehicle, request license and registration, return to the patrol car to run information. The officer walked back to her cruiser, spent roughly 30 seconds checking Sarah's details, then turned around to return to Sarah's vehicle, and the driver had vanished. Sarah? The car sat empty, doors still closed, windows rolled up, engine running. What the? Sarah? The officer approached cautiously, confusion evident in her voice. 3201 to dispatch. A second angle from the dashcam showed the same moment from a different perspective, confirming the driver's disappearance. The video went massively viral within hours. Comment sections exploded with theories: teleportation, glitch in the matrix, paranormal phenomenon. Some claimed it proved interdimensional travel. Others suggested alien abduction. Law enforcement channels analyzed the footage, debating whether it could be legitimate. The production quality was convincing: proper police uniform, authentic-looking equipment, realistic radio chatter. But within days, investigators identified several problems. First, no police department came forward claiming the incident occurred in their jurisdiction. Second, the officer's uniform mixed elements from different departments, patches that didn't match, equipment configurations that violated standard protocols. Third, careful frame-by-frame analysis showed editing artifacts around Sarah's figure in the final moments before she disappeared. The video was a hoax, an extremely well-produced one, but fake nonetheless. Created using visual effects editing, the footage was designed to look like authentic body cam recordings. The creators likely used green screen techniques, filming the officer separately and compositing the empty car footage afterward. What made it convincing was attention to detail, realistic radio codes, proper procedural language, natural-sounding dialogue. But what made it dangerous was how quickly it spread as if it were real. Thousands shared it claiming police can't explain this or cops witnessed teleportation. Even some law enforcement social media accounts initially shared it before realizing it was fabricated. The incident highlighted a growing problem: realistic fake footage becoming indistinguishable from authentic police recordings. As deepfake technology improves, creating convincing fake body cam footage becomes easier. This creates serious problems for actual investigations where body cam evidence is crucial. If juries can't trust that footage is authentic, legitimate evidence loses credibility. The vanishing driver video eventually was debunked and removed from most platforms, but it had already been viewed millions of times, with countless people still believing they'd witnessed something paranormal. The creators never came forward to claim responsibility or explain their methods. Some theorize it was created as a social experiment to test how easily misinformation spreads. Others believe it was simply made for entertainment without considering the consequences. Regardless of intent, the video demonstrated how vulnerable audiences are to convincing fake footage, especially when it comes from sources that appear official. Modern viewers are conditioned to trust body cam and dash cam footage as inherently authentic. That trust makes fabricated police videos particularly effective at spreading misinformation. Law enforcement agencies now include warnings on official footage to help viewers distinguish authentic recordings from fakes. Digital forensics experts have developed tools to detect edited police videos, but the technology to create fakes evolves just as quickly as the technology to detect them. The vanishing driver incident serves as a reminder: not everything that looks real is real, and sometimes the most shocking moments caught on camera never actually happened at all. Finally, a Nashville Christmas morning changed forever when an RV broadcast evacuation warnings through empty streets, then detonated in a massive explosion that damaged 50 buildings. Story number 4, the Nashville RV bombing. December 25th, 2020, Nashville, Tennessee, 2nd Avenue, Christmas morning, most of downtown still asleep. At approximately 5:30 a.m., residents near the historic district began hearing a strange, robotic female voice echoing through empty streets. All buildings in this area must be evacuated now. The voice came from an RV parked outside the AT&T building. Early morning joggers thought it was a prank, some kind of bizarre Christmas stunt, but the message repeated, over and over, growing more insistent with each cycle. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. Nashville Metro Police received multiple 911 calls reporting the unusual broadcast. Officers arrived around 6 a.m. to investigate the source of the warnings. Body cam footage shows them approaching cautiously, trying to determine who was inside the RV and why they were broadcasting evacuation messages on Christmas morning. Then the message changed. This vehicle will explode in 15 minutes. The countdown had begun. Officers immediately shifted from investigation mode to emergency response. They began evacuating nearby buildings, going door to door, pounding on apartments and businesses, urging everyone to leave immediately. The robotic countdown continued, but strangely, between warnings, the RV played snippets of Petula Clark's 1964 hit song, Downtown. When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown. The juxtaposition was surreal. Apocalyptic warnings interrupted by cheerful 60s pop music about finding happiness in the city. Officers worked frantically in the pre-dawn darkness, clearing buildings, moving people to safety, establishing a perimeter. Bodycam footage captures the eerie atmosphere. Empty Christmas-decorated streets, blaring warnings, upbeat music, police urgently evacuating anyone they could find. You're not in trouble, but there is something happening. You need to leave now. Some residents were confused, others scared. Many didn't believe the threat was real. Officers had to physically escort some people away from their homes. The countdown continued. This vehicle will detonate in 10 minutes. More police arrived. Fire departments staged nearby. Bomb squad was en route, but wouldn't arrive in time. This vehicle will detonate in 5 minutes. Officers pushed the evacuation perimeter farther back, knowing they couldn't disarm the device but hoping to minimize casualties. At 6:30 a.m., exactly 15 minutes after the final countdown began, the RV detonated. The explosion was massive, felt miles away, shook buildings throughout downtown Nashville. Bodycam footage from officers several blocks away captures the moment. The ground-shaking blast, the blinding flash, the shockwave, debris raining down seconds later. "Are you guys okay? Get to your car." The destruction was catastrophic. More than 50 buildings sustained damage. Several structures partially collapsed. Windows shattered for blocks, cars flipped, streets cratered. The AT&T building directly adjacent to the RV suffered severe damage, knocking out communications infrastructure across Tennessee and parts of surrounding states. Cell service went down. Internet failed. 911 dispatch centers lost functionality. But miraculously, only 3 people were injured. The early warning broadcast, as disturbing and bizarre as it was, saved countless lives. Had the RV detonated without warning, dozens could have been killed. The only fatality was the bomber himself, 63-year-old Anthony Quinn Warner, who remained inside the RV when it exploded. Investigators immediately began piecing together Warner's background. He was a Nashville resident, worked as an IT consultant, lived alone, had few social connections. Neighbors described him as quiet, reclusive, occasionally paranoid. Warner's girlfriend had called police 16 months earlier, reporting that he was building explosives in the RV parked outside his home. Officers conducted a welfare check but found no immediate threat. No follow-up investigation occurred. In the weeks before Christmas, Warner gave away possessions, transferred his house deed to a woman in California, and told a neighbor, "Nashville and the world will never forget me." But his actual motive remains unclear. The FBI investigated for months, interviewing hundreds of people, analyzing Warner's computers and communications, searching for clear intent. Some evidence suggested he believed 5G cellular technology was being used for government surveillance, possibly explaining why he targeted the AT&T building. Others pointed to potential mental illness exacerbated by isolation during the COVID-19 pandemic. Reports mentioned a cancer diagnosis, though this was never officially confirmed. What became clear? Warner meticulously planned the attack to minimize casualties. The evacuation warnings. The early morning timing on a holiday when downtown was empty. The specific location away from residential areas. Yet he still caused massive damage to infrastructure and permanently changed how law enforcement responds to suspicious vehicles. The FBI officially closed the investigation in March 2021 without determining a definitive motive. Warner's death left too many questions unanswered. But the bodycam footage remains. Those final minutes before detonation, officers frantically saving lives while a cheerful 60s song played through speakers on a bomb. Today, Nashville has recovered physically, buildings repaired, services restored, tourism returned. But the psychological impact lingers. Every Christmas morning, residents remember the robotic voice, the explosion, the surreal moment when holiday celebration became disaster response. The incident stands as one of the most unusual domestic terrorism cases in American history. Not for the violence, though the explosion was devastating, but for the paradox: a bomber who warned his targets to flee, who gave them time to escape, who seemed to want attention and destruction without mass casualties. The body cam footage captured it all: the warnings, the evacuations, the explosion's aftermath. A Christmas morning that started with carols and presents ended with one of the strangest attacks ever recorded by police cameras. 4 moments, 4 broadcasts, 4 reminders that live coverage carries risks no one can fully control. The WDBJ shooting showed that violence can strike anywhere, even during harmless morning news segments. The Fox News suicide demonstrated how quickly live television can broadcast tragedy before anyone realizes what's happening. The vanishing driver hoax revealed how easily fabricated footage can spread as if it were real. And the Nashville bombing proved that sometimes the strangest moments are also the most difficult to explain. What connects them all? Cameras captured events that changed how we think about live broadcasts, police work, and the unexpected dangers hiding in routine moments. Drop a comment. Which moment shocked you most? Do these incidents prove we need stricter broadcast delays, or is live coverage worth the risks? If this opened your eyes to broadcasting's dark side, the video on the left covers even more shocking live TV failures that changed regulations forever. And the video on the right reveals what happens behind the scenes when broadcasts go horribly wrong. Subscribe because the most shocking moments are the ones nobody saw coming.